Welcome back to WEC Icons, the series where we introduce you to some of the most beautiful race cars on the planet. Today is no exception. We're here with the BMW M4 LMGT3 Evo. It's had a few changes in the last year or so we thought it's only right that we find out even more about this incredible car and a brand that is completely iconic in racing. So, let's get into it. Sebastian, welcome to WEC Icons. Thank you so much for joining us. And I wonder if first things first, would you mind introducing yourself for me, please?
Yeah, I'm Sebastian Tadej. I'm the chief engineer for the LMGT3 program for the BMW Motorsport.
And now, excitingly, we have the LMGT3 car with us. Can you tell me a little bit about the car? What's it called? Some of the basic facts.
Sure, it's the M4 LMGT3 car. Actually, it's the Evo car. It's released this year following the non-Evo car from last year. With some updates from the aerodynamics, the kinematics, and some serviceability items.
And we'll get into that in a little bit more depth later on. But to start us off, what engine's in this car?
There is a 3-liter inline-6 twin-turbo engine. It's the same engine that's also in the M2, M3 and M4. Okay. And so it's derived from the road car engine, and it's just a little bit lower, a little bit more backward. It has a dry sump as typically for the motorsport cars, and that's the basic changes we have on the engine. Otherwise, it's a typical road car engine.
Cool. Now, one of the things I love talking about when it comes to these LMGT3 cars is their road car sisters. Can you start off by telling me about the relationship between the two cars and what are some of the big differences on this car?
Well, let's start the other way around because it's quicker. The biggest similarities is the main chassis, the main body in white, okay, and then the engine, as said before, and some minor parts as well. But for the rest, it's basically motorsport specific, starting from the front with the splitter, the aerodynamics, the lights, the rims, the brakes, the suspension, obviously the safety features like the roll cage and the complete electronics is all motorsport specific.
And let's get a little bit more into the aero philosophy of this car. I'm seeing lots of vents, flaps. These are frankly ginormous. Yeah. What does it all do? Can you explain it to us?
Well, the motorsport aerodynamic always has two big tasks. It has to perform, gain performance in terms of downforce and minimum drag, so with a lot of efficiency. But we also have to deal with the temperature more than in the road car. So a lot of the cooling comes from the front. So all these outlets is coming from the cooling, and therefore, beside these outside flaps and the splitter, which are basically performance devices, everything that goes through the car is basically cooling. Now this year is a little bit special, was also the aerodynamic outside mirrors, okay, that are reducing drag and increased better adjustability of the rear wing. So this we added for this year as a new feature.
Was that under the Evo?
That's under the Evo kit. Exactly.
Was there anything else that we can see visibly from that Evo development?
The standard thing you do on the Evos is iconic. So the lights changed, the rear and the front lights. The kinematics were updated. So there are more options for the teams to play with to adjust the car to the tires and the change of tires from season to season.
Yeah, lots of different little bits that are changed along the way. How do you balance the aero on the front of the car and then obviously with the adjustable rear wing? Exactly.
The rear wing is the easy thing. You just tilt it, and in the front you have the possibility by changing the ride height, so the rakes, this changing then the angle of the splitter to adjust the front downforce to get the car back in balance.
And that's obviously also done from track to track depending on the needs of each track?
Exactly.
Can you talk us through kind of how do you make that decision when you're somewhere like Fuji? What is it that you're most aiming to do?
Well, at the start, we're looking at the simulation data we have from our lab simulation. Then we get a speed characteristic, and we compare this to our car characteristic, and then we set up as a baseline. And then when we start running, we assess from the driver feedback and car data where we need to fine-tune the aerodynamics, ride heights, and there we end up in the final balance for the qualifying race then.
And is that it's the kind of thing that's adjusted in those practice sessions? That's why they're so important to the team.
Exactly, because from tire conditioning, track conditions, ambient conditions like weather, and also the potential rubbering up of the track is making a difference how the car is behaving, and that's why you always need to redo the setup on every event.
And with this BMW, I feel like maybe it's a little bit obvious, but what is it about this car that you think makes it look like a BMW?
Well, we work very close with the road car design department, and a lot of icons you find on the road car as well. It's the kidneys, it's the lights from the front, then it's from the side view, it's the wedge form which you always have, and then the famous and sometimes a little bit different looking Hofmeister-Knick on the rear window, and these icons you also always find on the motorsport car.
The Hofmeister-Knick.
Yeah.
What is a Hofmeister-Knick?
The Hofmeister-Knick is the design element that the bottom line of the window is going back forwards to the straight line. That's called Hofmeister-Knick from 1961.
And that's there's the sticker of that on the Hypercar as well, right? Yeah. That's awesome. I didn't realize that's what his name was.
No. Wilhelm Hofmeister from 1961.
Ah, and it's named after
the designer.
Hofmeister-Knick. I'm there now. When you look at the front of this car, the headlights are something that to me scream BMW. But I've never noticed. Is that an aero feature going up the side of them as well?
Yeah, there is a cooling feature because also lights get warm. Also lights need to be cooled with all the electronics and everything, and that's why you also get additional cooling in here.
Now, I would love to take a look inside the car if that's okay.
Yep.
So what can you point out from this interior? Because first things first, there's a lot going on. It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, the one thing that stands out from the beginning, it looks very different to a road car because basically beside the basic front cover here, it's all motorsport parts. You have from the electronics with the switch panel in the middle, the standard display from the car, the rear view camera, and then the steering wheel. You have basically all as a motorsport spec. And everything else which would be weight or not needed or comfort on a road car has all left the group.
Does this car have, is that an air conditioning or is it just a cooling system?
There's air conditioning inside.
That's a nice treat.
Yeah, but don't take this too serious. It's not 18 degrees in the car. It's still a sauna, but it's better than without air conditioning.
Now, the one thing that immediately caught my eye is the stickers you've got on this car, the yes, the no, the confirm. Is that almost a translation guide for your steering wheel? What are they for?
There's the possibility that the radio drops. And with the telemetry, we still have the possibility to see what the driver is doing on the steering wheel. And if we have a one-side radio drop that the mic of the driver is failing, then we can still have a code that he can use some buttons to communicate when he can hear us. And then we ask a question, and then we see he's pressing the certain button to reply, and then we can have this code to understand even if the radio fails. Because in motorsport, the communication is key. I mean,
so important.
If you miss the car on the right time, this can also lead to a penalty.
And the door, I think this is quite an unusual door. Firstly, because of the fact you've not really got a handle. Is that what the big red button's for?
Exactly. When the driver wants to get out, he's just smashing the button and push it up.
It's a bit of anger management as well. Give it a whack and
Exactly.
I just think it's beautifully designed as well. The way that the M4's embossed in there, isn't it? How about we get the steering wheel out and take a quick look at that as well? Do you think you can talk me through the basics of the steering wheel? Anything a little bit unique as well?
Sure. I mean, it's one unique thing in the paddock is the thumb rotaries. So here you can, with the thumb, adjust here the level of TC. From the rest, it's pretty basic. It has the radio functions, the light functions, also the anti-lag system to switch off, and the limiters. You can adjust the wiper as an interval and the ABS, so the basic settings. We have the indicators on the rear. And the shift pedals, obviously, which are push-pull pedals, so in case one is failing, you can shift up and down with one pedal only. And you have the clutch on the bottom.
And I see the BMW Sim technology. Is this developed in collaboration with the simulator team?
Exactly. It was developed with Fanatec.
Cool.
And the steering wheel from the car you can use in your Fanatec simulator as well. You can take it off the car and put it on your simulator.
I now want to try that completely. That's so cool. Let's pop that back inside, and I think we should head around the front. Now, Sebastian, my favourite question that I get to ask everybody, what is your favourite part of this car?
This car, from the beginning, I like the face. I like the front where the kidneys, or here more nostrils, are blending into the bonnet, and with the very aggressive big openings, as you mentioned at the beginning. This looks very cool, and it's also, in terms of kidney style, one of the unique ones.
It's iconic, isn't it?
In BMW, the other ones still have the old ones, and the M4 is one of the only ones that have this big kidneys.
Ah, okay, I see.
And that's really making the car very unique. And also, I think when you see it in the rearview mirror, I think you know what's coming.
You know who's coming. Thank you so much for your time, Sebastian. It's
Pleasure.
been a real pleasure to talk through this. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time on WEC Icons.